Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Secret and SexyHero here on Polypoid. This replay was sent to me by RJB, an excellent source for replays and excellent Brood War content. Just search RJB TV on your YouTube machine and you will find him. Comment on one of his videos and tell him that Falcon sent you. Alright, so a PvT here on Polypoid, bottom left-hand corner. We have a yellow Protoss player named Secret. And in the top left, it is the brown Terran. SexyHero is what he goes by right now. He originally was known as Hero, but the other Zerg player Hero kind of overshadowed him, so he changed his name to SexyHero instead. Which, hey, that shows some confidence, absolutely for sure. So, really excited for what this replay is going to bring for us today. RJB does not recommend garbage replays ever once. I've never cast a replay that RJB recommended and been like, man, what was RJB thinking? He must have been up all night. Nope. They're always incredible. They're always fun. They're always interesting and exciting in some way. And I'm excited to see what we get from this one here on Polypoid. Alright, so if we take a look at Polypoid, it is a pretty big map, obviously. 4-player spawns in all the corners there. Expansion's pretty easy to take. Pretty decent wall-off positioning here, too. You do have an expansion that you can take as a third base at the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, accessible from 2 ramps from either sides here. And then same story at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, accessible from both sides. And then we have these little minerals-only bases we can take, which we have seen players take these. It's kind of nice to have the high ground, especially if you got some siege tanks. But, so we'll see. We'll see if that comes into play here from a SexyHero or not. Secret, no proxies today, not even any scouting, honestly. He's just playing this safe. Barracks coming at home for SexyHero. He is cruising around at the speed of sound with this SCV. Hey, quick announcement. I do have a $200 Brood War StarCraft Falcon Paladin Invitational. It's a lot of words, I know, but it's coming up on April 18th. There's a link in the description to the challenge. It has open sign-up, so you just need to be a subscriber of mine, which I assume most of you are. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. I'm here 5 times a week with Brood War content, remastered, and sometimes Carbot as well. Anyway, old games, new games. And yeah, go ahead and sign up. There's like 4 people signed up at this point, so you can get in early. And again, April 18th, and it's about a noon Eastern start, US time. I'll be casting it live here on this YouTube channel. So again, link in the description. No fee to sign up, just be a subscriber of mine, and there's a $200 prize pool, details in the link. Alright, so 1 racks expand here from SexyHero. And hey, surprise, surprise, singularity charge getting researched by the Protoss. And this SCV, man, he scouted the wrong way. That's okay, at least you know where Secret is not, right? He's not in those other locations. Ha! Hit that like button, by the way, if you're here. Anywho, Dragoon says, we're just going to move out. I don't care if this SCV... Oh, maybe we do. Maybe we do care if this SCV scouts me. I'm going to get right on in and see... yes, cybernetics core, yes, 1 gate, yes, well, another pylon here, so there's not any kind of a proxy happening out there. That's good to know. Great information. SCV, several hits. Ooh, you know what? We're already at several hits. There it is, the one more, and we're down. Bunker up. Barracks here too. 2 Dragoons are out, which means we're going to see a lot of bunker pressure, which again, we see a lot here. This is what's important about this factory. Is as soon as you have this bunker, your expansion's running, you want to throw a factory down, either you can go for siege tanks, or you can go for spider mines, or you can go for vulture speed, but the spider mine and the siege tank route seems to be much more popular in dealing with this early Dragoon pressure, which by the way, we have, careful. Took a couple hits there. Singularity charge is almost done over this guy. Oh yes, that was a scouting Dragoon as well. I had forgotten. I'd forgotten that Secret had not scouted yet. So, alright, that's cool news. Everything is just fine. Again, nobody's going to die here in the first couple minutes of this match. It's just not going to happen. Period. Not going to happen. Again, the rule of thumb is 1 SCV per Dragoon attacking your bunker. Here's 1. You can keep up with the damage that a Dragoon is doing and recover health over time. See, 1 is great. When the 2nd Dragoon arrives, you're going to want a 2nd SCV. And 2nd Dragoon, el arrivé. Ici. Here we go. Second SCV, though. Second SCV? But there it is. Second SCV in the yellow. You don't have to come when it's in the green. Just wait until it's in the yellow and you can stay ahead of it. But there's 3 now. Oh no, 3 SCVs. Let's go. What's the Terran up to? Getting siege mode and a siege tank. All right, cool. That's what I would do personally. The Spider-Man micro is too hard for me, but I assume it's not too hard here for SexyHero. You don't get a name like SexyHero if you're bad at Spider-Man micro, that's for sure. Of course, he kind of named himself that, but anyway. Ooh, robotics facility, and that was a Templar Archives that just finished too. Oh, never mind, it's still on the way. Did I cover it up? Or did it disappear? I don't know. Yeah, but the siege tank micro is excellent. Drags the Dragoons into range of the bunker. Siege mode is done momentarily here. And it is a shuttle. I feel storm drops in the future. It seems to be, in the current meta, a lot of Protoss have gone for storm drops as opposed to the old recalling with the Arbiter. Again, we kind of seen both, but, oh my gosh, DTs. Never mind. We're not getting Storm, everybody. It's just Dark Templar. I guess you don't need the shuttle that early if you're also going to wait for Storm to research, so fair enough. I mean, we could still see it, absolutely, but anyway. Observatory coming in. Spider-Man research is not quite done yet, so we should have an observer out for the Protoss in time to need it. Would not be surprised by that whatsoever. Engineering bay floating around. And we're putting a turret under that engineering bay, aren't we? Production tab says yes. That's a turret under the NG bay. Love that play. Hard to target fire if a building is floating over it. It turns out we've seen that be a big part of replays that I've cast in the past. So we're just gonna go straight up. Just straight up dropping DTs in your main here at 6.5 minutes. Hope you're ready for that, and we are, because there's turrets. Multiple turrets in here. And siege tanks, and spider mines, and the turret. Yeah, wow. Turret is such a good deterrent in this situation. And maybe you could slide in here. And get on up in here, try to get some damage done. There's not a comsat station, mind you. So if you can get a Dark Templar in here, it's going to be a bad time. But, see the high ground. We are going for the third base high ground for the Protoss. The Vultures are trying to make sure that, okay, well, there's a Kakaru here. Kakaru! Kakaru! Sorry, we're distracted by the Kakaru. He's here, though. Fair enough. We're going to kill these pylons. I mean, if no Protoss is going to show up to try to mess with us, then absolutely, we'll just take this. This can't deal with the spider mines until an observer is out. Observer has arrived, observing the Kakaru. He's here. Kakaru! Now the Dragoons can chase these Vultures away after they killed a pylon. Great job, guys. Great job, Vulture pilots. That's what you're here for. It is going to be an Arbiter Tribunal, though. So all my talk about storm drops, nope. Like I said, Arbiter Tribunals are still definitely important. I mean, not that we're not going to see storm drops. You still want the Arbiters for stasis purposes, especially against a Terran player. And, you know, pretty decent little bit of damage against things that can't shoot up, like against Vultures, for example. Here's a bit of some... I was going to say they're YOLO Vultures, but they got in there and out there and did not die, so never mind. They're not living once, they are living multiple times. I apologize for referring to them as YOLO Vultures. What's up, Arbiter? Arbiter Tribunal. It's hard to make the sound that an Arbiter Tribunal makes. DT's just, hey, if you want to expand here, we have some thoughts about... Oh, we definitely have some thoughts about that. Oh, boy. Goodbye. Yep, 2 shots on an SCV. I think that got canceled, actually. Did we get an observer in here? How did he sneak an observer in here, but couldn't get a shuttle in here? I guess observers are a little bit smaller hitbox. Anyway, Charon boosters coming in. That's what we're here for, is a little Charon booster blue action. And, I was going to say, this is a base coming up down here, but it's not. It's just Dragoons, making it look like there's a base, and also clearing the way for a base to come in. Man, this Kakaru really gets a lot of screen time today. Kakaru, Kakaru, Kakaru. That's the sound a Kakaru makes. Also, flap. Oh, just disappeared right into the fog of war. And out of the fog of war. And into the fog of war. Okay, we're distracted now. Yep, third base here for SexyHero. So we're moving out. Good number of tanks. No tanks have died today, which, if you know my recipe for PvT, that's not super ideal for the Protoss, is 0 tanks killed in the first 10 minutes. You really want to be trading, but you don't have to be trading, okay? I just feel like the games where I see the Protoss wins, they're constantly trading out tanks for Dragoons, but it's not a requirement, as I've seen Protoss win without that particular setup. This such brave a DT here. Such a... He's getting blocked. Is he? Oh, he's trying to kill the one that's already injured. That's fine. I mean, friendly fire splash made sure the tank died. So, hey, a little bit of a suicide Dark Templar there. It's totally cool. This is a problem, though, man. When there are tanks setting up right here, this early, and there's turrets, it's not a good time. Zealot bombing is definitely a possibility. Tanks are at +1 attack. There is an Arbiter out, but that's what the missile turret is for detection and for anti-air against this shuttle. No upgrades are done for the Protoss yet, but he is working on +1 ground attack for his ground units. Bum 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 bum. This is quite a contain, I gotta say, and then I really don't. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot to get through this. Zealots with +1 attack. Maybe he's waiting for the +1 to try to break out here. Just the more entrenched this becomes, the harder it is to deal with if you are the Protoss. There's a bunker at the front now. The initial 4 or 3 Marines are here. They're ready to rock, which I think is honestly hilarious. They didn't die in the early stages of the game. They're here to contribute. They're doing their part, and here we go. This is what I'm talking about. We got that +1. We waited for the bunker to finish. We're just wandering in. Good stasis, catching 3 of the tanks and a Goliath. 1 tank on the left side firing, 1 on the back firing here too. But there is honestly a lot of Dragoons in the mix here. Arbiter does pull out, managing to just barely survive against the onslaught of Goliath attacks with that Charon boost. And it looks like the Protoss feels like he's got this thing taken care of. He's going to be able to clear out the tanks. And that means, oh, that Spider-Mine friendly fire hit was brutal on that siege tank. And now we can wait for these 3 tanks to come out of stasis and this Goliath. And there's a Zealot in here too, hanging out with these guys. And we talked about this before, but we're pretty sure that in stasis, it just means you could see what's happening. You just can't control anything. You're frozen. So these tank commanders can see the Dragoons setting up all around them, ready to murder them, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is absolutely brutal. Vultures trying to get on here into the 3rd base. I don't think they got many probe kills at all. So Spider Mines actually did get laid, killed 2 Dragoons there, which is nice. But it's 144 to 115 supply. And the Protoss is looking good, man. The 6 o'clock base is rolling. Bit of a probe transfer through an active war zone. No! Come on, come on. Take care of your workers, professional StarCraft players. We gotta do that stuff. Recall in production. Loving a lot of recall here today. Personally, and in my casting opinion, I think recalling is great if you're going against expansions, especially if they're lightly defended. If you're recalling into the main base of a Terran, it can be really hard to get much done before the army comes and kills you. But, like, recalling here would not be terrible. Recalling here would be amazing. There's targets, you know? Just hold the door, man. Hold the door. Trying to get a wall up, but nope, the Vultures get inside the house. The Foxes are in the hen house. Scanning ahead of time, making sure in case the Arbiter does come over that we can still see what we're doing. The Vultures get a few probe kills, but at 61 to 59 workers, still a Protoss lead, which you're going to want. Again, going against a meching Terran player, their army is going to be more cost efficient than yours generally, and you want to have more bases than they do. So Arbiter here for cloaking purposes, but again, recall's been researched. So we could definitely see a recall of some kind. EMP almost done here for the Terran. Trying to come up this ramp against a lot of siege tanks, and the Arbiter's going to die. Secondary Arbiter in here tosses down a secondary stasis, which is not terrible. But we're here, and we are trying to focus down siege tanks. There's a lot of Vultures in the mix. Zealots are hard to kill, but having a lot of Vultures is one way to do it. Absolutely. Oh, that Arbiter almost dead thanks to the missile turret. And man, the Vulture's actually saving the day here. Wow, that wasn't even the siege tanks, man. Maybe it was late coming siege tanks helping with that, but Pretty good hold. I think a couple SCVs died, but we're still at 61, so couldn't have been too terrible. And again, Dragoons are the mortal enemy of Vultures, and they will relish any opportunity that they have to kill a Dragoon. It makes them feel good inside. Looks like Secret is trying to expand down this bottom right. SexyHero scouting it out with Los Vultures. I'm sure there's a better word for a vulture in Spanish than that, but that's what I went with. I am wholly gringo, as they would say in some places. Probably not everywhere, is my guess. Zealot. I think that Zealot walked up here. That would be my guess. This guy's, I mean, he just has a death wish. Look at this dude. He's got 3 kills, no HP. He's over here killing a pylon by himself, alerting the entire Protoss army where he is and what he's up to. And then he dies. But I love this base out of SexyHero. He's got his 4th base rolling. Maybe going to try to get a 5th base here on the left side on Polypoid. Crazy, weird map and weird places to expand. And SexyHero is taking advantage of a lot of it. Terran moving out. Getting blindsided here. When on siege, there is the siege, though. And the Protoss army pulling back as always. We see this Arbiter. Is that another base attempt here from SexyHero? It probably is. Wow. Love what's happening here. All right. SexyHero coming from the north. And the army of Secret doesn't seem to be really responding to this. So whatever is left down here for Secret needs to hang out. Great EMP on the Arbiter. Just a face smash against the front door of the Terran. It doesn't seem like a super mega great idea. Vultures are here just eating these probes to pieces. And oh my gosh. Is it a full surround here? It looks like a full surround attempt on these Dragoons. They're going after the Comsat station. They do have an angle out to the right here if they can take it. The Vultures are trying to make sure that they at least have to walk through spider mines if they're going to escape. And by golly, some of them do not. These Vultures just ate that entire probe line. It's 39 probes now to 60 SCVs. They could probably finish up this Nexus if they don't get distracted. And don't be distracted, boys. Take it down. Oh, it's only got 100 HP. You can do it. They got so distracted. That's what's so frustrating. And then everybody from the Protoss army dies up here too, including the shuttle with a couple zealots in it. This base is fairly unprotected now for Secret. Although, I don't know. Another army coming out here. We're producing pretty heavily on this number of bases and with this number of gateways. Without question. I like the Terran. I really do. He's got another base already done in the top right. That is a 5th base for him. The Protoss is only on 5 bases. He's basically keeping pace right now, which is usually not going to work out for a Protoss against an elite macro Terran as SexyHero is. It's a classic PvT engagement here. Nice flank on the Zealots coming from the left side, taking out one of the tanks. Stasis removes 3 more from the equation, but there are still 4 back here and 2 more behind those. And that, as a Protoss, is when you know things are not going super well for you. Is when you think you've taken care of all of the tanks and you move up and more tanks are firing and you're like, oh, there are multiple lines of siege tanks. That's bad. And then you retreat. Back to your high ground, hanging out with your Ursidon friend. Oh, come on, guys. Sacrifice your lives. Get this Nexus. You can do it. I believe in these Vultures. Instead, they're going to wander over here and get killed by a cannon, which is not as good, you guys. Dying to a cannon is not as good of a thing. That is a lot of stasis. Oh, the first group came out of stasis, though. Dude, it's 140 to 92 supply. It feels like the Terran has this thing figured out, man. He really does. He's just got staggered lines of siege tanks. He's got the detection he needs. He's dancing with the science vessel, trying to avoid, I don't know, Dragoon hits or something. Arbiter hits, I guess. Tosses another EMP down. None of the Arbiters can do anything about this. And this feels like a Terran who's just sort of going to walk on into the front door here, which is not something we see a lot of on this channel. It's a Terran that just walks into the front door of the Protoss right at their natural base. Sieges up kind of 2 bases at once here. Probes are dying all over the place. The income for the Protoss is not super hot. The Goliaths are trying to avoid Dragoon shots while also nice back up there to make sure the Arbiter dies. And that's your good game. SexyHero. What an absolutely stupidly fantastic game there by the Terran player. Really nice. He wants to stick around for some reason, which is weird. Usually these players, there we go, are gone as soon as the game is over. That's kind of traditionally how it works, but 64 SCVs, 5 bases, 6th base is done. I apologize. I missed that one. He could probably expand here if he wanted to as well. But yeah, just not enough harassment, right? Not any storm drops at all. No recalls whatsoever from Secret. Nothing to slow down SexyHero whatsoever. And on the engagements that he was able to get stuff done, the macro of SexyHero just had another army ready to rock whenever it was necessary. Like, there was a really scary push from Protoss coming up here a few minutes ago, but the reinforcements from the main base, and then it looked like maybe we're going to see some base trade action, but at the end of the day, nope, SexyHero brought his stuff back, put a sandwich up on the Protoss units. He was able to hold off an attack heading up this direction as well. I'm not even sure that Secret knows about this or this whatsoever. He just knows he's got a big Terran army at his front door. They've got 2-1 upgrades here at 20 minutes, and there's just nothing he can do about that. I mean, they're wiping out this Nexus. They're killing a ton of probes. The natural base is gone, and sometimes, a lot of the times, Protoss are okay with losing their main base in this situation, but they will have a home away from home when that happens. They will have set something up down here with a lot of gateways and rebuilt all their tech, duplicated their tech, so if they lose their main, they can still keep fighting. But no, that did not happen here today. Secret never had the opportunity to do it, or maybe just, I don't know, maybe just missed. That is kind of the question. Was it just a miss or not? But, whoa, wrong things. F10, end of mission, exit replay score. All right, so again, check out RJB. Thank him for sending this replay in. That was a really, really good TVP. Lots of action everywhere, and the Terran gets the win. Kind of feel like it's been a while since we've seen a Terran get a win in a PVT, which is weird. Weird to think about, but I think that's the case. 149,000 points here from SexyHero, 123 from Secret. Goes by the Smurfame 10-minute flash, which I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. Like, he's flash for 10 minutes, and then he's not flash? Like, maybe it's easy to mimic, you know, the greatest StarCraft player of all time for 10 minutes, but then after that, you kind of fall apart. That makes sense. Outproduce the Protoss. That's not good. I mean, this again, Terran army more cost efficient. If the numbers are this close, you're going to have a bad time. Protoss players, for sure. And resources here, more gas mined by the Terran, more minerals mined, and just barely, yeah, outspending by a couple, maybe about 1,000 here for the Terran. So, yeah, if this is what your total spent looks like after a 20-minute game in a TVP and you are the Protoss, you're probably going to lose. It's sort of that simple. I believe it's how that works. So, all right. Very, very good. And that right there is going to be it for me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.